Good fake by Stafford, buys time. Look at that. On target. Touchdown, Lion.
Do you play fantasy football?
Yes.
Why?
Probably because I'm a sucker. I don't know. I love football.
I don't, but I'm planning on starting this year for the first time.
I do.
Why?
Mainly because my brother and my cousin bugged me endlessly and guilted me into it for multiple years before I actually started.
Yes, I do.
Why?
Gives me a reason to watch the rest of the games for the most part. And as a former athlete, I like to feel like I'm doing something, even though it's not really being active.
Yes, I do.
Why?
I've always loved football. I've always loved watching it, and having a little play in it and the chance to win money is always fun.
Yes, I do.
Why?
I feel like it's a good way to keep up on all of the happenings in football. Plus, it's a good way to interact with your friends and have a good time at the same time.
I want to learn more about football, get more involved in the sport, and also I want to prove that I'm not gay. It's kind of my overall thing, because I figure, in 20 years, if I'm not married, if somebody's asking my mother, like, hey, why is your son not married? Is he a homosexual? And she can say no, because he plays fantasy football.
Rich and famous, have women around me, hot cars, go to nightclubs, get on magazine covers. The usual.
Something to do for a Sunday.
Money, pride, bragging rights, things of that nature.
Money and pride, and because, I win.
Usually I hope to win and make money off of it, but it's always nice to learn more and have more of an idea about your favorite team and about other teams in your division and other stuff like that.
I feel it takes away from rooting for your team. You find yourself in positions where you're rooting for some other player on another team that's playing your hometown team, and that's pulling at you. You're happy that some guy in the opposing team is doing well against your hometown team because you're producing points. He's producing points for you, but he's helping to beat your team. And it's kind of a sweet and sour, if you will, or bittersweet.
Well, maybe. It might make me more interested in players that are not from Detroit. I want to find out more about, expand my horizons, and probably definitely pay more attention to the games, I'm sure.
It can take away from it if, let's say you're trying to play your hometown team and, they're on that team, things like that. But other than that, I think if anything, it makes you a bigger fan of the league overall, other than just your team.
To an extent, because sometimes I bite the bullet and draft someone that I don't like, that I normally wouldn't care about. But since I have him on my team, I kind of have to root for him, as much as it pains me.
It makes me a bigger fan because I actually know what's going on with other teams besides my own, and I can watch other games that I normally wouldn't watch.
I definitely was not nearly as big of a fan prior to playing fantasy football as I am now. Mainly because the Detroit Lions have sucked major donkey balls for a number of years. Decades, rather. Prior to the last few years, roughly around the time I started playing fantasy football. All came together real nicely for me.
Probably not as much as I should.
I truly don't think I can count the hours.
Oh, I have absolutely no idea. I guess if you take a college course, it should be 3 hours for every credit hour. So how many games are there a week?
1 game a week.
Oh.
16 games.
So let's do a couple hours a week, man.
As much as possible, because it gets me out of doing everything else at work.
Probably a few hours a week, just checking my team and setting my lineup, which is not too bad because it's usually only once a week. But now lately they've been expanding it so it's about 3 or 4 times a week with all the games that are on. But it still makes it kind of nice.
When I was in 2 leagues, the league I spent the most time with, I did the worst in, and the team that I wasn't able to spend, especially at the end of the season when it counted. I pretty much would have won it had I spent maybe 60 seconds and actually put somebody in the lineup that who could play as opposed to somebody that was hurt.
I mean, you have to watch the games more during the regular season, but now in the preseason, I guess I'm going to have to start learning about, what players are expected to do what in the season, so I can make better picks.
I mean, like, I don't like to waste all my time on fantasy football, but try to limit it a little bit.
It was just too taxing on my time. Being that I attempt to run a business, you get pulled in so many different directions at random times that it's hard to focus.
It encompasses a vast majority of my life.
Well, I should hope it wouldn't make it more dangerous.
I enjoy the company of some of the people involved, much less than when I started, but
Well, my phone is on my side at all times. I have iPhone apps for each league I'm in, and I'm essentially checking them pretty frequently throughout the day, whether I'm at work, in mass.
Well, it hinders me at work at times when I want to change my whole lineup or want to get some guy on the waiver wire. Sometimes I, take extra bathroom breaks or go hide in the closet.
I guess the long and short of it, sometimes you get criticized when you're trying to focus on your business that is helping to keep jobs of some of the people who are actually in the league, and you're focusing on that as opposed to the league. You then get criticized and possibly voted out of the league, but I won't go into that.
I would say it affects my day-to-day life because I would go on and look at different websites and see what's going on with different players and injury updates and stuff like that when I normally wouldn't do it if they weren't on my fantasy football team. So I'd spend more of my day-to-day life on fantasy football than I would usually spend on something else.
Sometimes, a whole brother thing, I play with my brothers, I play with my friends, so sometimes I kind of have to screw them over to help myself, and, it doesn't always make everyone happy. A little bit of both. It depends. The free ones, it's kind of a vice, but for the ones that we play on that's paid, then it's worth it because you get money out of it.
It's something, it's a social thing. You've got something to talk about, common interest with other people who are involved in it.
Really depends on the person, but for me, I'd say it's productive time spent.
Productive time spent.
It helps build interest, I think, in the game, but again, I go back to the whole, you're fighting this, rooting for your team and then rooting for some guy who's helping to defeat your team, and it's just a bittersweet thing at times.
If I win, it's a productive time spent, but if I don't, it's probably a vice because it's wasted time. But it's fun, so I don't really mind it.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, I prefer it that way.
Oh, absolutely. It's fun anyways.
Yes. Yeah, because I don't expect to win anyway, so that's...
I would, just because, like I said, it just gives me something else to do. And I'm a fan of the sport, so if it gives me any other reason, watch those really, crappy games, might as well.
I would probably play, but I wouldn't be as into it as I am when there's money on the line. It's just like anything. If you're gambling with it, you're going to spend a lot more time on it, in my opinion.
I think the money takes away from, even though it's not great money, you're not going to retire off the winnings, but I guess some people need that lure to make it exciting for them, but I love it for the challenge in the sport.
I would absolutely play, but the money definitely is incentive to take it more seriously. Yes.
I don't know, maybe. No, I don't want to be. No, I don't want to be hurt. I've been watching football. They get hurt a lot and concussions and stuff, and I don't make enough money to be getting that many concussions. So, probably not.
No more than playing Madden does.
Absolutely.
So you want to live in the NFL vicariously through fantasy football?
Yes.
I think we all do a little bit, whether or not we want to admit it. But
Oh no,
You're not.
I'm not an absolute freak.
I mean, I feel like everyone wants to play real football. It'd be nice, but I know it's not realistic. So, I mean,
10 years, do you think you'll still be playing?
For a lot longer than 10 years.
Assuming we're not all dead, if I enjoy it, sure.
depends if we still got the league going.
yes, as long as the NFL is still around, I'll probably be playing fantasy football. But we just got to hope the NFL's still around.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's going to evolve into something else. Maybe it'll be a virtual reality fantasy football. Who knows?
It depends on the people involved. I mean, to me, it's it's about the people. Also, I'm probably always going to love the sport, sports in general, especially football. But to get involved in this, I think it's about the people you're involved with, and if they take the fun out of it or whatnot, then I guess not. It just depends who's in it with me.
It'll be a nice break from the day-to-day grind, I'm imagining.
Silent now, as opposed to when the Saints have the ball. Oh, look at this run. What a run. Marshawn Lynch still on his feet. Has blockers now. He's dancing his way for the touchdown.
No, I'll be dead. I won't be able to think of nothing.
100%.
Well, I don't know if I'd put it right on the headstone there, but I'm sure it probably won't be the most negative thing I've done. And based on the people I've talked to that do it, it seems like fun. Probably be worthwhile.
I won't hate it. So yeah, I guess I will value it.
Absolutely, especially rubbing into your face that, I'm the champion and you're not.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first thing I look back on, but it would be. It's fun. So I mean, I would definitely, value the time I spent on it. And it's a good way to kindle relationships with other people. So it's nice.
Because I can't imagine life without fantasy football anymore.
So everyone needs a little moments to for themselves, and fantasy football would be mine.
I think it really comes down to that. I mean, it's not a full-time thing. Like I said, it's not gambling. I'm not there to win big bucks. It's for the fun. I put a little time into it. I love the game. It keeps me, up to date on what's going on. And with anything, if you're not going overboard, no, I would not. No word, no.
On first down all day for Stafford, who goes to the end zone. Jump ball, touchdown. Megatron is in for the touchdown.
Hold on 1 second. I just got a fantasy update.